Joining us now, the Virginia Director of Concerned Veterans for America. More information, go to cv4a.org. Kurt Lofquist. Hey, Kurt, good to have you with us, man.
Morning, John. How are you on this fine December morning?
Well, you know, it's the same song, different dance, different day. So now we have this scandal in Tomah, Virginia. At the VA, 600 veterans are at risk for hepatitis after being treated at a Department of Veterans Affairs facility in Tomah, Wisconsin. The VA announced that a dentist at the facility was using tools that hadn't been sterilized properly. It's like we're making this up every week. Can you believe this?
No, it's pretty bad. I mean, if the name Tomah, Wisconsin rings a bell to anybody, this is the exact same VA facility that just a year ago had a scandal break out where they were grossly overprescribing pain medications to veterans. And from this scandal, you can see that they obviously haven't figured out how to fix themselves out. We have a doctor, or dentist, who was using his own tools, which is in violation of the VA policy, to work on veterans. Wasn't sterilizing them properly. Now he's exposed almost 600 of them to deadly diseases. And, I mean, the biggest shock of this is that this guy hasn't been fired. They just moved him to an admin position within the hospital. And it's just like, I mean, what's it going to take? Are they going to have to catch him on video actively trying to kill veterans? I just don't understand why we can't hold any of these people accountable.
So if somebody were to ask Director McDonald about this and say, why wasn't this guy fired? What would his answer be?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Bob McDonald's been a little bit of a disappointment throughout his entire tenure. We had really high hopes for him. And he just seems to, like you said earlier, he got entrenched, and now he's doing everything he can to protect these people. And, you know, the Veterans Administration is not about the people who work at the VA. It's about the veterans who serve their country and have illnesses and things that need to be taken care of because of that service. They should be the focus of this. And this is just another example where it seems like the veterans are not the focus. It's the employees of the VA that are.
You know, one thing that Trump said during the campaign is that he would absolutely fix the VA if he gets elected president. And he never said this, but the way he doubled down on a lot of the things he said that people criticized, the message was, look, I'm not going to lie to you. So we fully expect that when Trump becomes president, that he's going to put somebody in charge of this VA that is going to fix all this stuff. And I would think that, like he said, I think he was in Regents in Virginia Beach, I believe, where he had an address on the VA. And he says, whoever I name as secretary, they're going to have to tell me every 7 days. I'm going to have a meeting with them every week to say, how are we doing in certain areas, or I'm going to fire them and just hire someone else. And it's going to be like every week you have to tell me exactly what progress you've made on what we agreed on, which has been unheard of. I don't think anything short of that is going to weed these people out. What about you?
No, and I mean, that would be a breath of fresh air in the way that they're handling the VA. I mean, it sounds like harsh language, but quite frankly, that's what it's going to take to fix this. Everything has been tried. They've tried working within. They've tried. I mean, we've gone after legislation. Legislation is still coming out. We've got good legislation in the works, but it's going to be it's got to be a change of leadership. There is a toxic culture at the Veterans Administration that starts from the top down, and that needs to change.
Unbelievable.
And severe accountability needs to be a part of that.
You know, it has to be in any turnaround organization. And when I was a corporate executive, I was the turnaround guy early in my career. And the executives that managed me, I think I reported to the chief operating officer. I mean, every week you had a meeting. It was either you were in his office, or it was over the phone. It was 15 minutes a week. And it was, these are the 5 things we agreed on. You got to give me an update with detail and empirical evidence of the progress you made. And I tell you, I mean, you didn't want to get on that phone call or be at that meeting on Monday when you did 3 out of the 5, because 2 of those meetings, then you're fired. I mean, it's as simple as that in the culture that I was in. So these guys get away with this stuff. Hopefully Trump will be able to instill that. I want to talk about the VA Accountability First and Appeals Modernization Act of 2016. Kurt Lofquist, could you explain what that is and why CVA is behind it?
Yeah, this is a bill that, it basically does two things. It's going to give the VA the ability to remove problem employees from the top down, and it's also going to prevent bonus for the senior executive service for the next 5 years. I mean, the last couple of years, we've seen a bunch of scandals with how much bonus these guys are getting compared to what they're actually achieving at the VA to turn things around. And I think this is a great step in the right direction to say, look, you guys don't deserve bonuses. You need to get this fixed. You show us that you can get us fixed, and then we can talk about performance bonuses, because right now we're not seeing performance. It's a really good bill submitted by Senator Marco Rubio. We're 100% behind it. It goes along with the themes that we're looking for reform for the VA, which is accountability, choice, and transparency. This bill takes care of the accountability. There's a bill by Kathy McMorris Rogers called Caring for Our Heroes in the 21st Century Act. That's going to take care of the choice and the transparency.
All right, so let's get to Rubio's bill in the U.S. Senate. Is that out of committee?
I believe so. I believe it's. We're just waiting to hear what the next steps on that one are.
Okay, so it's out of committee. Hopefully it'll get brought to the floor. Do you see this going up in the lame duck session, or are we going to be looking at 2017 Congress?
My personal guess is going to be 2017, but we never know. Miracles have happened this year. We could always see them happen again.
I tell you what, it's just tragic what is going on with our veterans. And, you mentioned this facility in Tomah, Wisconsin, was at the center of scandals involving deaths of veterans whose family members claim they were turned away from the VA. In addition, like you mentioned earlier, it's a scene of a massive scandal in which our vets were overprescribed narcotics, earning the facility the nickname Candyland. So you would think after two of these scandals, like somebody would go in there and keep an eye on it or hold people accountable or do something. Instead, they do nothing.
That facility should be the focus of scrutiny right now. How they got away with something as simple as making sure that the policies of the dentist office were being followed is beyond.
Unbelievable. I want to just tell Kurt, if I may, a quick personal story. My son goes to St. Matthew's Catholic School in Virginia Beach. I was at a basketball game on Friday, and I saw Jason Redman, whose children also go to St. Matthew's Catholic School, which I didn't know, and I saw them there with his dog, his service dog, and just wanted to throw that out there. I mean, I've had him on my show probably 10 times. I've been in his company probably 25 times. And I didn't have any idea that his children went to the same Catholic school as ours do. So it's like amazing how you can engage with somebody all this time and where your kids go to school just didn't ever come up. And I just happened to see him at our home opener on Friday night. Kind of unbelievable. But he was there, Kurt, with a service dog. And he was explaining to me how
I believe
now...
that's Karma.
Karma.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's the dog's name. And he was saying how veterans are now getting involved with dogs and dog training in order those that have come back wounded. And he was telling me how therapeutic they are. Are you at all aware of this trend?
Yeah, I mean, that's becoming a pretty popular way in the veterans community to start dealing with some of the issues that we're coming back with. I mean, anybody who's a dog owner knows how comforting one of them can be, and they have special training that they go through. I know there's several places around the state where they do specific service dog training for veterans. It's a really great program, and I'm glad to see it take off as well as it did.
Yeah, and he was telling me that one veteran suffering from PTSD was not able to sleep. I mean, it had been a very long time. He'd get 2 hours, 3 hours max. He wouldn't be able to sleep. And they tried medication, drugs. It didn't work. And they finally got him this dog. And he said the first night the dog slept with him in his bed, he got 7 hours consecutive sleep, which he hadn't had in ages. So obviously they are making a difference.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All I've got is a cat that wakes me up after 3 hours of sleep.
That's exactly. I was going to say the same thing. My cat does the same thing. Hey, if you're having trouble sleeping, do not get a cat. Get a dog.
This is absolutely good information.
Cat does the same thing. In the middle of the evening, he just will jump on the bed. For God knows, Sammy will just come in and wake us up for no reason. Just like, hey, I'm up. Time to get up.
Yeah, mine will let me know that the cat food bowl is empty, and I'll walk it over to the cat food bowl, and the cat food bowl will be full. Then the cat will remember that the cat food bowl is full and start eating, and then I can go back to sleep.
You know what? Only for the people that really love cats can you understand the whole cat mentality, and ours does the same thing. All right, man, we're out of time. I want to thank Kurt Lofquist for being with us. By the way, Kurt, what's your cat's name? Magnus. All right. I like it. Magnus the cat. All right, man. Thanks for being with us. You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network. More information, go to CV, the number 4A.org.